iPhone 17 is already a device of the past, as this past week we've been getting a pretty heavy wave of new leaks about one new major design change for the iPhone 18 Pro. These are coming from multiple sources, and things are starting to line up here when it comes to at least Face ID and the dynamic island, and really just the display in general on the next generation iPhone. According to multiple reports, Apple's planning to significantly shrink the dynamic island on the iPhone 18 Pro. The reason for that is a major internal shift where Face ID components are also expected to have a major redesign and move under the display for the first time. That would leave just a smaller cutout on the front for the camera on the display. What's interesting is that this smaller cutout may not actually be centered like we're used to. One recent set of leaks suggests that Apple could move the remaining front-facing camera to the top left corner of the display instead of the middle. That would be a pretty dramatic visual change for iPhone users. I mean, Android phones have had a hole punch cut out for the camera either in the center or the left side or the right side for years. And it's honestly one of the biggest design changes that we've seen since the notch first appeared on an iPhone. According to John Prosser in his latest YouTube video, Prosser claims that Apple's new under-screen Face ID system will sit next to a top left camera cutout, meaning the dynamic island no longer needs to be centered at the top. Instead, he claims it will likewise shift to the top left, where the time is shown on current iPhones, and periodically we'll have it fly out from the corner to encompass the upper portion of the screen, allowing it to functionally remain the same as the current dynamic island works. The Information's Wayne Ma recently reported that Apple's adoption of under-screen Face ID for iPhone 18 Pro models will eliminate the unsightly black oval that has appeared at the top of iPhone displays since 2022, though I don't find it that unsightly, it's just fine. With just a pinhole cutout now for the selfie camera, located again in the upper left of the display. So we've got two kind of sources here corroborating the same report. Another major detail here that we should probably not overlook is the display size. Now, leaks suggest that Apple is sticking with the same Pro sizes that we have now, at least for the form factor. And right now we currently have 6.3 inches for the iPhone 17 Pro and 6.9 for the Pro Max. But while the physical dimensions may not change much, the usable screen area could actually increase to the smaller cutout again and the under-screen Face ID. But what exactly you're going to be doing in the top middle of the screen, who knows, but it will be usable display. Under-screen Face ID is a big deal on its own. Apple has reportedly been working on this for years, and the iPhone 18 Pro could finally be the generation where it's actually ready. Now, the front-facing camera will still need to be visible, obviously, so this is where we would be talking about a hole punch. But this is what enables the smaller and repositioned cutout in the first place, is just having under-display Face ID happening on this new iPhone. There's also some discussion around how Apple will market this change. Instead of calling it a hole punch like Android phones, Apple will most certainly frame it as a cleaner, more immersive display experience, no doubt. Whether they still call it Dynamic Island or introduce it as a new name is unclear. I'm guessing if it remains the same functionality as Dynamic Island, they'll still call it that, or maybe they'll give it a new name because it's moving, who knows. Now, while there are several rumors suggesting that the 18 Pro and Pro Max will include under-display Face ID, we do have conflicting reports regarding what this exactly means for the dynamic island and its position, of course. Respected veteran display analyst Ross Young has added his support to a new leak about the iPhone 18 Pro's front panel design. In a new post on X, the now retired Counterpoint Research VP said that Instant Digital's latest explanation, the one we mentioned earlier of how Apple will shrink the dynamic island, is what he was alluding to in a report last year. So shrinking of the dynamic island makes sense. And that's effectively what we got in that Instant Digital leak as well. The leaker explained only the IR flood illuminator would move under the display to the top left corner, while the dot projector, infrared camera, and selfie camera will remain housed in a reduced center dynamic island. Another Chinese leaker has also since backed this claim, which also corresponds to reporting last year by Bloomberg's Mark Gurman. So if all of these things hold true, the iPhone 18 Pro lineup could feel like a slightly bigger redesign than we were anticipating. I mean, we did just get a pretty hefty redesign of the back panel and everything going on with the 17 Pro. Obviously, we've got that new plateau where everything lives up there, and it's just a pretty major redesign from the back, but the front looks the same over the last 3 to 4 years. Now, it seems to be the front of the device's time to shine, and so we could be heading near that closer to all true screen design that Apple has been slowly working toward for a long time, but who knows how this is actually going to look. I'm starting to believe that it's probably going to be a smaller dynamic island, but stay in the center. Not sure that I buy it moving over to the left. I also feel like that's going to work kind of weirdly with the whole dynamic island software. There'd have to be some pretty major changes there. But of course, It's still early, plans could change, but this is a pretty clear picture of what we can expect the front of the display on the 18 Pro and Pro Max to look like if these leaks are accurate. But I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. How do you feel? Does this make or break your decision on whether or not you're going to buy one? Do you like Dynamic Island? Do you want it to be smaller and off to the left? Do you care at all? Let me know in those comments. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.